Nothing about this is awesome. Good God. Seems incredibly odd that we now actually get to look back on a time when the very idea of an all-out theatrical movie based on the Lego brand sounded like the stupidest thing you'd ever heard, and, well, what Peter Berg did with the Battleship board game definitely didn't help. Truth be told, the first time you ever actually heard there was going to be a Lego movie, I'd put money on the product you visualized not being a million miles removed from what Playmobil have chucked out here. It's aimed exclusively at 5-year-olds, which is fine in concept, sure, but not a great time for any of the put-upon parents forced to enjoy this somehow 100-minute long dross. It's bizarre as hell, but it's never exciting or substantial enough about even that in any way to be interesting. Think about like the CBeebies version of the Duplo movie and you'd be on the money. The broad strokes here are ostensibly a sort of merchandisable riff on 1994's The Page Master, so live action, bookends, an animated world, celebrity voices, yada yada, but our leads here take the form of Anya Taylor-Joy, who between this, Glass, and New Mutants really needs to get back to a proper horror flick soon, and Gabriel Bateman, whom you probably recognize best from that not actually all that bad Child's Play remake that really should have just been called something else. The crack here is that a teenage girl about to graduate from high school and go off to see the world is forced to give all that up when her parents are killed and she's left to take care of her tween brother who, because she hasn't done a musical number or played Playmobil with him for 4 years, runs away in the night to the New York Toy Con and winds up getting them both sucked into the actual Playmobil world, which, at this point in the movie, has already gone from Disney Channel musical riff on the setup to Taken, to Party of Five, to Ted, to The Wizard of Oz in roughly 15 minutes. You'll not care about a single one of those minutes either. On the animated front, it never particularly feels like there's much of an actual world being laid out before us to really invest in. Maybe that's because of a lack of effort, maybe because it's aimed exclusively at 5-year-olds, but I'll be straight up, even Moshi Monsters the movie was a more engaging adventure than this, and that lack of effort seems to root itself into every element that makes up the Playmobil movie. Any gags feel like they'd be simplistic and dull, even to the standards of something like Paw Patrol. The animation feels at best like something you'd see on an iOS freemium game cutscene, at worst like a cast-off CBeebies venture. It's unfathomably uninteresting to sit through, thunderingly dull, and mystifyingly all over the show. Hats off to Daniel Radcliffe. He's obviously having a good time as this sort of worn Roger Moore era Bond archetype named Rex Dasher, but otherwise, unless you're a 5-year-old, in which case you have terrible taste in YouTube content, Youngblood, this movie ain't for you. Remember all the tone and genre hopping I mentioned? Well, not only are there 5 solid minutes of this in which I assumed that Jim Gaffigan's character was a drug mule, but I never once stopped to question that in a movie aimed at 5-year-olds. And by the way, every Playmobil person with a beard just looks like an adult Haley Joel Osment. And once you see that, trust me, you will never unsee it. Much like you should never ever see the Playmobil movie. It ain't good. It ain't good at all. This is something that was a straight-to-DVD project at best, but marketplace trends being what they are mean we have to endure this in cinemas instead. 1 star, give this a hard pass. Take the kids to see Toy Story 4, Lion King, Secret Life of Pets 2, literally any of those instead. Then buy them a copy of The Page Master on DVD, because that movie was legit. But you don't get more legit than The Boss, and it's that particular musical note that rocks through Blinded by the Light. So this is out in cinemas this week, and comes to us from Bend It Like Beckham director Gorinda Chadha. And when it comes to stories to tell, boy does she have a type. So like Bend It Like Beckham, Blinded by the Light also follows the period of discovery in the life of an Asian British teenager, but instead of football here, it's the music of Bruce Springsteen, which kicks off the emergence of an aspiring writer's voice in 1987 Luton, wherein he has to shout over his father's really traditional voice as he goes on to discover love, friendship, and dancing in the dark. Literally at one point. It's got an insanely candy-coated edge to it, but it's so charming in the way it positions itself as a sort of delightful hybrid of Sing Street and East is East that by the time you're done whooping and cheering and crying and laughing, you just want to lick that candy coating right off too. It's got a relative unknown Vivek Kalra front and center here, and he really sells the hell out of it, offers up this just endless wave of real heart and vulnerability, and the chemistry between him and his on-screen dad, who's played by Kulvinder Gear, that is genuinely unmissable stuff. Some terrifically moving moments between them, all in keeping with that candy-coated edge, but you gotta get past that, and if you do, hot damn, this thing rocks. Blinded by the Light has all the energy and joy of a Springsteen song, with all the cross-cultural comedy that's come to make up part of so many of the classics of the actually rather burgeoning British Asian comedy subgenre. It's an absolute delight. I loved it from start to finish, and that metaphorical gloss and glitter might prove a bit of a barrier if you're unprepared. That's fine, but this'll charm you and it'll get you dancing. 4 stars from me. I love the use of practical effects for otherwise pretty fantastical celebratory musical sequences. It's not a musical, by the way. I definitely want to see Kaur again in something else. This was just pure win. Absolutely see this. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review.